Back at it again?
Back at it again,
Let's
bro.
Let's do this. Cheers, brother.
Tuesday evenings.
Tuesday evening podcast. I really, really look forward to these on Tuesday evenings.
my like Google Maps when I when I connect my phone to Bluetooth in my car on Tuesday afternoon, it automatically sends me here.
Yes. Yes.
That's how consistent we've been with the Tuesday nights.
Dude, all you need now is just a Tesla that will automatically drive you here.
Wouldn't that be
every
nice?
Tuesday.
Where they like open the doors and it like flashes lights with the music.
Exactly.
I'm just like pimping down Fletcher Parkway.
But then I feel like if you had a Tesla, like we probably wouldn't be sitting in my place. We'd probably be like at your house.
Dude, or we'd just be cruising around on the Tesla with a microphone
right
between us.
That would work. I did watch it on Instagram once when I used to follow the Meredith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you remember her?
Yeah, your brother paid for titty pics.
No way. What a sick fuck. I love that. That's fucking great. He did that with quite a few girls on Instagram, I think. 'Cause he's told me about a few that he's done that too, and then now her, I didn't know that, but that's interesting. That's funny as fuck. I lost my train of thought because I started thinking of her titties, but
the Meredith.
Yeah, so I watched it on her Instagram one time that she had literally some dude was driving around in his car and they were doing the podcast in this dude's car. They were just cruising around doing a podcast.
Yeah.
The handheld microphones and like a little recorder in the center, or whatever, like a thing in the center to record with, and they did a podcast on the road.
That'd be cool.
That would be legit, yeah. But I feel like you would get so distracted from driving that the conversation might not flow as well. Well, unless you're in a Tesla.
I don't know, bro. We have some pretty solid conversations while we're driving.
We do.
But as far as like trying to keep track of like electronic equipment while doing it.
Well, not only that, yeah, maybe, but I feel like sometimes, the flow of conversation is hindered a little bit by the fact that you're consciously aware that you're on microphone, So like
True.
That plus driving, those are like two subconscious distractions where it's like it probably, well, I don't know, it might turn out good still, but it might hinder like the ability of free flow conversation.
It'd be cool if you had like one of those vans converted to a house and just cruise around and like sit on the couch in the back and do like a podcast in like while you're on the road traveling on a road trip. That would be cool.
That would be sick.
Goals. I'm gonna do that. I'm putting it out there right now.
I've always thought about buying like one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans and just converting the back into a house and just living out of that.
Dude, there was this woman that came into the Pioneer probably early December, but I've seen her in there a few times since.
Right.
And I saw her pull up in this huge Mercedes van.
Right.
Like bigger than like the Sprinter van that you're talking about, but it was like made to be like a
one of the bigger ones.
Yeah. And so I started talking to her and she was like, yeah, I just retired and I had a house in Santee for like 25 years. It was paid off.
Right.
And I just realized like I have all this stuff and I don't need this stuff.
Right.
And she sold her stuff, sold her house, bought the van brand new, and then just mobbed around.
Yeah.
I was like, that's legit.
Dude, I feel like that's something that I would definitely do at a later point in my life. Like once my daughter is grown, and I mean she will obviously I will still have to support her, to a certain extent. But like once I'm financially comfortable enough to do that, I will do that for sure.
Dude.
Because I don't believe in the whole concept of retirement, if you will. Like I don't look forward to the day I'm going to retire. What I think about is like, number one, what the fuck is retirement? Like that makes no sense to me. Like I feel like you should just do something you love for the rest of your life, and you never have to retire from it because you just enjoy doing it until you die.
Right.
Like retirement is if you have a day job.
Yeah.
And you save up enough money to leave that day job. But like we talked about last time, like that's a sacrifice of your entire life for a potential, relaxing 20 years. Like that fucking.
And that's even like. That's a big if, because a lot of people are relying on their 401ks.
Yeah, right.
And like, what if you were going to retire? What if you're like 65 right now and you're about to retire and then the stock market tanks?
Right.
And
everything that you've saved.
And you went from, $1 million to 600,000.
Yes.
In a month.
Yes.
And now you're like, fuck, I got to wait for that to come back. So you might have to work another 5 years.
Dude, you could take longer than that.
I'm saying, yeah, right.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Oh my God.
But that's the thing is like, do you really want to rely on that?
No, you don't want to rely on it. That's the thing is you don't want to rely on that. You want to rely on like doing something that will make you money and that you love, so that you never have to stop doing it, number one. And
right.
Number two, it financially supports you forever.
And to where you have enough diversified income to where the thing that you love isn't your only source of revenue.
Right, exactly.
So like
multiple streams of income.
Yeah, like do what you love and then have like a couple other investments, side projects that are pulling in some money, and then you can stash that money, reinvest it, whatever, and like set yourself up so that when you do get old enough, let's say your thing is, the thing that you love is like playing pool, right? And you get to be like 75 years old and you get arthritis and you can't play pool anymore. Right. But that was your main source of income. Right. But let's say you can make that much money playing pool. Right. Who knows? But what happens then?
Yeah. If you have no other source of income.
Right. Maybe you weren't saving a whole lot because you were happy, but you weren't making like hundreds of thousands of dollars where you could, stash it away. So you got to be smart, and you gotta like plant seeds elsewhere and watch them grow while you're doing what you love. Right. And then by the time you get to that ripe old age where, God forbid, something happens and you can't do what you love to do anymore, you're still going to be okay.
Yeah, and I think more so than saving, it's investing, Like the book Rich Dad Poor Dad talks about how saving is obsolete. You need to invest and make gains on your money. Yeah. And that is what will propel you to the next level. And that is what will get you to a place where you have recurring income into your old age, Yeah. And if you can figure out how to do that right, like buying investment properties or investing in the right stocks, whatever will give you a good ROI. Some of it obviously principal protected and some of it more risky, and then as you get older you switch to more and more principal protected things, like lower interest rates but less risk. Right. Then that's probably a good strategy to go, because then you don't have to save as much. If you invest more, that money will grow. Yeah. But also I think it was like Gary Vee who was talking about like when you're in your 20s, like especially millennials, because we have grown up in very uncertain times, in that like we've seen the recession, the global financial crisis in 2008, and now this coronavirus thing. Like we have a bit of uncertainty about the markets and lack of trust in the markets, or distrust for the markets, But there's a lot of good people out there, good investors out there, who bring up good points about investing, and they say things like, in your 20s, you should take the highest risks. You can afford to do so. You can bounce back at this point. Right. When you're young enough and you're not making too much money, like play around with it till you figure it out. And that goes both like financially and personally in your life. Like experience things, explore. Like just go out there and figure out who you are and what you want to do, and take risks that you can't take when you're older. And you'll discover like what you want to do and the things you're good at and all the above, Yeah. I think it applies to finance as well. It's like, take those risks. You're going to lose some money for sure, but along the way you're going to learn things too, Right. And you just take the things you've learned and apply them and try to keep growing it,
Yeah. Gary Vee definitely says that all the fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't been on Instagram in a while, so I finally got Instagram. Boom. Holla. Hey. Yeah. At Kody Helm if you want to follow me. Up to you.
Kody with a K.
Kody with a K. That's right. Yeah.
So you were telling me about somebody, there was a confirmed case of coronavirus at your work.
Yeah, confirmed case of coronavirus at my work. And so one confirmed case and potentially a second other case. And this was on Monday, okay? So we all got a mass alert, stay home, work from home if you can. And
Yesterday, Monday, sorry. Okay. And work from home if you can. I didn't know if you
wait, sorry, that was Sunday night. They told us, like, don't come in because there's been a confirmed case. And work from home until further notice. And they send out daily updates now, right? So Monday, stayed home. Today, stayed home. And they got an email today that said, oh, the office has been properly cleaned and disinfected. It's safe to come back to work now. And I just thought for a moment, like, this is an airborne virus, okay? How do you kill or properly disinfect an airborne virus?
I think with the vaccine, which they don't have. Right. Can you think of any sprays like Lysol or Febreze that are antiviral? I think maybe if you just like threw fucking garlic all over your office.
Not trying to kill vampires here, man.
It's antiviral properties, man.
It does have antiviral properties. That's true. That's a good point.
That's better than Lysol.
Yeah, Lysol's an antibacterial. And a doctor across the street from me brought this up. He was like, people are fucking stupid. And no offense to people, but like, you're buying antibacterials, you know?
Mm-hmm.
This is a virus.
Like,
they're two separate things.
It's good to be safe.
For sure.
You should always wash your hands. Keep a little hand sanitizer on deck just in case, but like...
Always. You should...
I mean, as far as clearing out the shelves at Walmart for like Clorox wipes and Lysol wipes, like...
And like toilet paper? Like, what the fuck are you gonna do with a lot of toilet paper?
And now we know that the grocery stores are gonna stay open.
Yeah.
Although...
Yeah.
Bro, get this. So my buddy came over earlier for a podcast. He came to my mom's house.
Right.
And when he pulled up outside, he was like, dude, look at this. And it was a letter from Costco saying, present this to any law enforcement, National Guard, etc., for safe passage to and from work.
Wow.
What is that?
So that
he seems to think that this is gonna like martial law is about to come down and the country's gonna be under lockdown.
Some people think that.
But like for Costco to hand that out, that's big.
That's big. But then Donald Trump gets on the news and says something about, you know, screw all this, it's bad for business, people need to go back to work. Like that was today. He was saying like he's thinking about taking the lockdown off because like people need to go back to work, it's bad for business. So it's like, really, motherfucker? You want to put a bunch of people's lives at risk because businesses are failing? I get it. Like, I understand that the economy needs to stabilize itself, but it seems like the government should have a backup plan for that, outside of risking American citizens' lives.
You would think.
Perhaps rather than investing trillions of dollars in military and defense, we take, $2 trillion of that and put it into medicine and prevention, disease prevention, and virus cures.
Tulsi Gabbard. She's been talking about that shit for a while.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
full disclosure, I don't follow politics at all. I don't give a fuck either way.
Right.
But Tulsi Gabbard's been on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple times.
Yeah,
and she is extremely well spoken and she's got some great ideas.
Right. And I think that goes both. The weird thing about politicians, like, if you just listen to them talk as people, you'd be like, okay, these are reasonably intelligent people. They have like good, decent things to say. This goes for both sides, Democratic and Republican. And these are just your average people who are obviously intellectual and understand the global economics in a way that not a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But both sides both have great points, and people from both sides are people, and they all bring something to the table that could benefit this nation.
Yeah.
I think a huge problem with American politics today is the bipartisan.
They don't want to play nice.
Yeah. Not only that, it's like you have to pick a side. You have to be either Democratic or Republican. That's it. Period. Like, there are other parties, but the odds of them winning are slim to none, So I think the major problem with American politics is just how bipartisan it is, in that the divide is getting greater between people who are moderate as opposed to people who are far right and far left. You have like your alt right and your alt left. Like you have the good boys or whatever on the right, which are like the very right wing Nazi kind of guys, and then you have Antifa on the left, which is like anti-fascists. You know, who are extreme, and you're seeing more and more polarity like that in our political climate, and I think that's a huge fucking problem, because what should
these are the people on the fringes, right?
Yeah.
But the fringes are just growing.
Well, yeah, not only that, they're having a larger and larger impact.
They're encroaching on the people that just want to sit and chill in the middle.
Right. Or the people that, the way that I think it should be is like, you listen to both sides, and you think, okay, this guy has good points, this guy has good points. As an intelligent person, I can come to conclusions based on the policies of both parties of what I think is best for this country, and I can vote that way, whether I lean a little more right because I think the policies are a little better fiscally, or I lean a little more left because I think the policies are better for us socially. You vote that way. You don't just say, I'm a Democrat, God damn it, and I'm voting Democrat, or I'm a Republican motherfucker and I'm voting Republican. That's not the way this should work. That's a problem,
It is. I mean...
Because then you got people, i.e. my dad, who is a Republican, right? He's a fucking Republican. And every word that comes out of his mouth in politics is those damn liberals, those damn liberals, those damn liberals. And I'm like, really? Have you sat and listened to like a liberal person? Have you ever had a conversation with a liberal person and heard their perspective? You know, and opened your ears a little bit, opened your mind to the things they have to say, and let you do the same, and you guys share perspectives and maybe come to some type of mutual agreement? No, you've never done that. You listen to Fox fucking News all goddamn day, and every time you think of politics, all you think is fucking Democrats, fucking liberals, and it's like, bro, is that really a way to go through life?
Dude, I haven't watched the news in a long time.
Yeah.
My mom's been watching it, like, she doesn't watch it a whole lot. Recently, she's been watching it a lot just to, like, keep up with, you know, what's going on.
Right.
But, I just don't care. Like, I care, like, in the fact that I don't want to see our country crumble.
Right.
And I'd like to maintain, like, the ability to pursue whatever I want to pursue.
Right.
But other than that, if it, like, none of these policies being implemented or, like, that may be implemented, like, I have seen zero direct effect on my life.
Right.
And
except for, like, tax returns.
yeah, but that's since I've been...
That was the George Bush thing.
It's, I mean, that's, so...
George W. Bush.
Yeah,
I mean, I hear
but
you.
I haven't, like, it hasn't affected me in any way personally, so until, I mean, I might care, like, if and when that happens.
Yeah.
Like, I might care a little more and, like, start to read up on it and, like...
Well, I think, I was talking to a guy at work about this because I think that that's kind of the feeling amongst millennials, is that a lot of people don't really give a fuck right now because it's just like, you know, what the fuck is going on? It's a clusterfuck. It's a popularity contest between two parties. The left side has so many fucking nominees, you don't even know who's there. There's like 60 people. It's an exaggeration, but there's so many goddamn people, you can't even pick one. It's stupid, you know? And the right side, like, sets on one candidate who just preys on your fears, and he's like, the world's gonna end, we need to do what we can, you know, to save ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to a guy at work, and I was like, you know, the problem is that the millennial generation just, you know, doesn't really care right now. And it seems like a lot of people just are disinterested in politics because it's like, it's a fucking clusterfuck. It's a nightmare, you know?
Yeah.
And then he was like, well, as you get older and your financial status changes, he's like, your political views begin to shift and get a little more severe in either direction, depending on where you are in life, you know? And I guess it's a good point because, you know, as you're more vested in markets and as you, like, own properties, the rules and laws change and you've got to pay attention to more things and more...
Yeah.
The political climate heavily impacts your financial stability. So, you know, you get a lot of older people that might be more geared towards being older, wealthy people that are more geared towards being Republican because of their fiscal conservativeness, you know?
Well, I mean, the rich old people are the people that run shit.
The rich old people that run shit, exactly.
So, like...
Yeah. But I'm talking, like, upper middle class. Those people tend to be...
Where, like, they're not in the decision-making process, but they're going to do their best to benefit from it.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think everyone should do, first of all.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, everyone should benefit massively from whatever the fuck is going on in the world. There's ways to benefit from anything.
From anything, especially recession.
For sure.
Especially recession. People think that... I talk to so many friends that think right now is, like, not the time to invest. And I'm like, are you out of your fucking minds?
I was talking to my buddy earlier, and he was saying that he was like, there's a lot of people on both sides, like, you know, a lot of people are like, sell, get out of, like, cut my losses, whatever. And there's a lot of people that are like, buy right now.
Yes.
But his thing was like, give it a month and, like, see where we're at, you know, which is like, that's like a safer route for sure. That's like being a little more conservative and, like, let's see how things play out. But, like, in 1 month our economy tanked.
Right.
What's to say that in 1 month it's not going to be right back where it was?
Right.
There's no guarantee.
Right. Or in 1 month it'll be worse than it is today.
Right.
I think that an important part of it is to take calculated risks. You know, I think that, okay, like, if you look at the big companies, let's take Boeing, for example, whose stock price was at $371, now it's at $93. Okay, like, their 5-year trend is really good. You know, they've increased over the past 5 years stock price. Like, they've been increased and like stabilized themselves for the past. They've been a strong company, you know. I don't want to use the words too big to fail because that's what happened in 2008. And everyone thought companies were too big to fail, and a lot of companies failed, you know. But I think that if you look at the future of the airline market, you've got two major players, and it's Boeing and Airbus for the most part. And in order to have, you know, not a monopolistic market, you need more than one player, you know, because monopolies are illegal, obviously. So I don't think that, I'm not going to sit here and tell people to buy Boeing stock, but I think that for the most part, like, it would be a rather safe investment right now to buy some stock there. Don't obviously empty your finances, but take a little bit of risk, because I think the likelihood of Boeing going completely under and filing for bankruptcy is not
highly unlikely.
It's highly unlikely, I think, and I'm not, you know, a professional investor or anything, but I think that it's probably a safe bet that they will get a bailout from the government if need be, and give it some time. You know, this is not a buy now and sell in 2 months kind of thing. This is buy and sit. You know, set it and forget it investments. Like, buy some stock now and just leave it. And in 3-4 years, if you buy it at $94 a share and it's back at $371 in 3 or 4 years, well, fuck.
And let's say you bought, you know, let's using larger numbers, right?
Just round up.
Let's say it's at $100 a share, right? Well, let's say you buy 100 shares.
Okay, $1,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, 10,000.
Sorry, $10,000.
And let's say it jumps back up to $300 a share.
Yeah, $371. So let's say $400.
$371. Okay, so $400.
Yeah.
You turn to 10,000 into 40,000.
Right, and let's say that happens in 3 years.
Let's say it happens in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's solid.
That's a huge ROI.
That's solid.
It's a huge ROI.
Take out your original 10 grand, leave the other 30 in there.
Right. And not only that, like, let's say that you have 10 grand as disposable income. You're just sitting on it and doing nothing with it now. It's getting 0.2% or 1% in a high yield savings account at a financial institution, a liquid account, you know. And you're not doing anything with that money. Like, you put it in there, and let's say in 5 years you lose it all. Let's just say in 3 years you lose it all. Well, number one, you've got 3 years to earn that money back, you know, that you've now lost. Number two, you learned something in the process. Even though you lost $10,000, it was a risky investment. You knew that to begin with. But number three, you walk away with knowledge. You walk away a better investor, and you walk away more strategic next time. So you say, okay, maybe next time, instead of doing all 10,000 in Boeing, I'll take, you know, 2,000 in Boeing and 2,000 in Airbus. And you start to diversify your portfolio. You put a little bit in bonds to have a principal protected fund at a lower interest rate, but that way you don't lose all of your money, you know?
Yeah.
I think portfolio diversification is a very, very important strategy when it comes to investing properly.
Yeah, well, like, simply put, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Right.
You know, like...
Yeah. But, do some mutual funds, do some principal protected funds, do some stocks, do some bonds, you know? Like, you don't have to go all high risk on your investments. You should diversify 100%, you know? And maybe, you know, I don't know how people generally invest, but it seems like people might want to hop on opportunities super quickly, and they dump all their cash into like something they think is going to be a great investment, and then it loses, and they're like, fuck, shouldn't have done that, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it happens every day.
It happens every day, yeah. And again, you live and you learn, and you figure all this stuff out. But I think that overall, I guess the point is that I think a recession is a really good time to try to expand. You know, especially if you have a little bit of cash to spend, it's a really good time to try to expand. You know.
Yeah.
Because you can buy things on sale. Essentially, that's what it is. Everything's on sale right now.
Yeah.
Know?
And I was talking to my mom about it. She was like, interest rates are really low right now if you want to buy some property. And I was like, I'm not quite ready.
Right.
I wish I was.
Right.
But I'm not. So I gotta wait. Because I don't want to, like... For one, I don't know enough about real estate yet to purchase anything. And two, I don't want to, like, do something and, like, get in over my head and then I, like, ruin my credit or, like, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, you gotta be smart about it. Be smart, be patient, and, like, do your, you know, your due diligence and make sure that you have enough knowledge at hand to make the best informed decision.
Right. Or a decision that at least you feel comfortable with, you know?
Yeah.
Something that you know that even if it doesn't work out, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that some people just get excited. They want to pull the trigger, It's like, oh my God, insurance are low. Like, let me take out a bunch of money from my 401k and what I have in savings and buy a place because it'll yield me returns, And then, like, they buy it, and then the market continues to crash and the property value continues to go down. And then they're like, oh, fuck, my loan to value's gone down, and, like, the house is, I owe $300,000, it's worth $150,000. Now I'm underwater, a bunch of money, So, I mean, obviously, you can play on multiple sides of the field, and you can play devil's advocate in any situation when it comes to investing. But the important thing is to try, number one, to get out there and do it. Don't be afraid to do it. Try a little bit, even if it's $100 and you buy penny stocks or $10 or $11 stocks.
That's what I did.
Yeah,
I put $200 in the stock market.
There you go. There you go. Try it out.
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not gonna throw in a grip of money.
Dude, that's the smart thing to do. It's like you dip your toe in a fucking ice cold pool before you jump in it. It's like
unless you're a savage and you just jump in.
Well, yeah. And then, like, let's just say you risk hypothermia if you stay in too long, and, like,
Yeah.
That's the catastrophizing of the situation.
Yeah. Well, like, let's put it like another way. Like, there's a frozen lake, right? Are you just gonna run and book it and run across the lake? No. You're gonna, like, take a couple tentative steps,
right?
Feel it out,
right?
And keep going little by little.
Right.
And if the ice cracks, you're like, oh fuck, I gotta retreat.
Yes.
Find a new route.
Yes. That's a perfect way of putting it.
Yeah.
It's like, try it out first,
Yeah.
But don't be so scared of it that, like, you never dive in, you never get there,
Right, because that's how you end up 75 with arthritis and you can't play pool anymore, and then you're broke. Then you're living in the nursing home right here behind me.
That's how you end up in a very unfortunate situation.
Yeah, we don't need all that. Oh.
No, man, and I think that overall, like, our generation in particular, I really, really love the millennial generation. I fucking love it because, well, partially because I'm in it, so I'm biased as fuck, But I love it because I feel like there's a certain level of consciousness that's coming to people. People are starting to wake up and being like, okay, like, we haven't been laborers for a very, very long time. We haven't traded our hours for money for a very long time.
No, well, I mean, since the Industrial Revolution.
Right. This is a few hundred years old, which means, like, our grandfathers.
Not even a few hundred.
Yeah.
Like, we've only been a country for a few hundred.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. So
Yeah. So, like, we've only been a country for, like, what, 250 years?
I don't know what 1776 was it?
Yeah, so 2026 would be 250 years.
Okay. Yeah. So not even that old. It's a 150-year-old thing, maybe. I don't know. Let's just throw a date out there. So, like, let's say our grandfathers' parents, parents were, like, pre-industrial revolution.
Yeah.
Like, that's not that long ago.
No.
We've been accustomed. We got all of a sudden society oppression accustomed to this lifestyle of trading our hours for money, pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And I think that with the advent of social media and people being able to make revenue and money and get popular and off social media, I think it's opening people's eyes. Like, damn, I don't have to go to an institution and get an education. I don't have to get a good job and be safe. I can make money other ways. There's other ways to support myself if I dedicate myself and I put it out there.
So, like, this is like, and I think a lot of people would agree with, like, this trajectory, but, like, what my plan is, like, I gotta work a job
right
currently, probably for the next, I don't know, I'm hoping no more than, like, 10 years,
right,
less than that. I'm shooting for 5,
right,
but if I can get to the point where when I get to the point where I'm, like, I've been working a job and I've been, saving my money, but also making money off of, like, my own things, and, start investing in different areas and get to the point, like, where I'm in my mid to late 30s and I can quit my job and I have income from multiple different streams. That would be ideal.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I think one of the quickest ways to get to that point is to reduce your liabilities to such an amount that you virtually have no expenses every month.
Well, the difficult part with that is living.
For sure, it is.
Now,
but if you take a piece of advice from, who's the shark? Mark.
Oh, from Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Mark, he owns a football team, right?
Yeah, what the fuck is his name?
Damn, I don't know.
Okay.
My
Anyways,
phone's
fuck it.
I can't. My phone's filming.
Yeah,
I can't look it up.
On Shark Tank, he's like, eat shit, you know? Eat shit for 5 to 10 years. Rent out a fucking room from a friend for $300, $400 a month, you know, for 5 years, and just grind it out, you know? Save money, invest money, put it to the point where you have multiple revenue streams coming in, and that way you don't have to work. At some point, those revenue streams start paying you back.
Right.
You have monthly income that you can figure out what else to do with your time, you know, as opposed to working a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
That's what he did. He's like, I lived in a fucking studio.
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban. Yeah, he lived in like a group house. I think he said with like 5 other dudes, and he was paying like $300 a month for years. He did that, and he was like, I just used all of that time with my low expenses every month, to just figure shit out, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
now he's rich as fuck.
And that's the thing, is it's completely possible to do that.
It's possible, for sure, especially in America.
Especially right now.
Yeah. That's the thing they talk about with like the immigrant mentality, you know.
Mm-hmm. Gary V's big on that too.
It's the immigrant mentality. It's a real thing. Like, you have someone that comes from another country where the opportunities are limited,
mm-hmm.
and they come here and they just see endless opportunity. It's like, I can be whoever I want to be, and I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, and I can make as much money as possible doing that thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking full fucking advantage of that. But then when you're born here, it's like, oh, I gotta go to school, I gotta get a job. Like, you don't have the same perspective, because there's just there's so much opportunity all around you, but you don't recognize it. You know, because you've been here for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your parents had a job and they went to school, and you're just following the trend of your family, you know, as opposed to an immigrant who comes here has less likelihood of being able to get into college and get a good job. And it's like, I gotta fucking grind. I gotta do what I have to do to survive. And what better place to do that than in America, where the opportunities are fucking endless.
Mm-hmm.
Endless. And Americans love to spend money, man. Especially middle class Americans, upper middle class Americans. So if you can find a way to tap into what they want to spend money on.
Right. Well, we're consumers by nature, you know. That's all we fucking do.
Well, not even by nature. This is what we've been taught to do. This is a learned behavior, you know.
True.
We have been taught to.
We have been programmed.
We have been programmed to consume, and to heavily believe that materialism and materialistic items are what give us status
mm-hmm.
and power
and satisfaction.
We have been taught that.
Yeah.
That's a learned thing. That is not how we are innately as humans.
It's not real.
You know.
It's not real, which is so crazy, because like I was listening to some podcast, and this guy was like, my buddy, he just wears fucking. Oh, it was that same fucking podcast with Rogadov on Joe Rogan's podcast, where he's like, my buddy just wears fucking black shirt, black jeans.
Yeah.
Every day.
Because he doesn't have to think about it.
He doesn't have to think about it. He doesn't have to worry, oh, how do I look? Should I change my shirt? Should I blah, 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 blah? Like, nah, man.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it simple. It's, like, I don't think I would ever do that. But that's like a different level of like self-awareness, where you're like, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
You know?
Well,
like, maybe you're just doing it initially to like limit your options because you don't want to stress about what you want to wear.
Right.
But like, eventually you got to realize that, like, damn, none of this shit matters.
None of it matters.
It doesn't. Like, it doesn't matter what. None of it matters. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and just, I mean, you think about some of the people who have left the biggest imprints in history, you know, and like people who have given back and done things, and it's like even they have passed on, and like a lot of them have been forgotten, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, no matter how big of an impact you make, at some point, like, people don't know who the fuck you are, and it doesn't matter. You know? I mean, the first person that comes to mind is like Michael Jackson. For some reason, I don't know why, but he was like an amazing pop music star, and like he passed away suddenly, and like not a lot of people will talk about Michael Jackson these days. Like his music is still around, still good music, you know.
Yeah.
But like,
it fades.
It fades. It fades. You know.
Everything fades.
Everything fades. So it doesn't matter. So, with that being said, so I think there's two very profound ideologies, I guess you could take from that nothing matters. Number one is that like you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can embarrass yourself. You can try things. You can take risks. You can fail. You can fuck up. You can be homeless. You can live on the streets and still make a comeback or still do something because nothing fucking matters, you know?
Right.
That's like, that's the beauty in it. Is that like, fuck it, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck because I'm gonna die one day and none of this matters anyway, you know? So why not explore and experience everything?
Right.
The other side of that is that like, a side that some people might take is that like, nothing matters, so fuck it, I'm not gonna do anything.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna be lazy and I'm just not gonna do shit because it doesn't matter anyway, you know?
Well, I mean, that's the difference between living your life looking forward to something or being miserable every single day.
Yeah.
I feel like that's all it comes down to.
Right.
Is like, would you rather be unhappy every second of every day, or struggle, accomplish, struggle, accomplish, struggle, accomplish, struggle, accomplish?
And some people, they want the safe route, you know? I would say a lot of people want the safe route. You know?
I think that a lot of people want the safe route. I also think that a lot of people are stuck in the safe route and
don't know how to get out.
Either they don't know how or they're too scared to.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you can turn a blind eye to, you know, the things that you internally want to do and who you are and what your passions are your whole life, but at some point those things are going to catch up to you and you're either going to die with tremendous amounts of regret, or you're just going to live your life wasted.
Yeah.
You know, Les Brown has this great two things from him. Number one, he has this great saying where he talks about, you know, envision yourself on your deathbed and all of the ideas that you had and all of the things you could have been. Let's just pretend those are ghosts, and the ghosts of those things are standing around your bed and they're telling you like, we came to you to give us life. We came to you to bring us into this world and to bring us into reality, and you failed us. And you now have to forever live with and die with knowing that you didn't try and you didn't do what you could have done, you know? That's a terrifying thought. That's a terrifying thought. He also has another good point when he says, this is a funny story he tells. He was playing Connect 4 with his son, and he was super young, and he learned something from his son this day in that he kept playing Connect 4 with his son, and he kept beating him. And he was getting tired of playing because he kept winning. And he was like, okay, we're done. I'm done playing with you. And his son was like, no, Dad, we're going to play again. We're going to play again, and we're going to play again, and we're going to play again. And then eventually, Les Brown was like, I'm tired. I'm done playing this game. Like, I don't want to play anymore. And he got up to walk away, and his son looked at him. He's like, no, Dad, it's not over until I win. And he was like, right then and right there in that moment, I adopted that philosophy for my life. Like, it's not over until I win. I'm like,
damn.
Yeah, and he got that from his son, who's like, it's not over until I fucking win, man.
It's an insightful fucking kid.
Insightful kid, but he was just thinking like in terms of Connect 4, Dad, we're not done until I fucking win, you know?
Right,
and
but like if he carries that for the rest of his life?
Well, no, his dad heard that and carried that.
No, I know, but like what if that kid also carries that for the rest of his life? Oh, he will, for sure, like, because
like his dad used that in his motivational speeches moving forward. He told that story during a motivational speech, and then he proceeds to scream into the microphone, it's not over until I win, like multiple times, until the crowd of like 50,000 people is just roaring and like going, it is the craziest speech, man. Like Les Brown was something else, and his ability to make the crowd feel the passion behind him, behind like what he brought to the table, and his ability to like portray true happiness and passion and delivery to a crowd of people was insane. He was just so charismatic. He hardly read off of prompters or anything. He would just get up there and he had like jokes memorized. He had everything he was going to say pretty much memorized, and he just would fucking kill it, man. It's an amazing thing to watch. Like if you watch his YouTube videos, like there's nothing like watching Les Brown speak. You know, I would say that even more so than watching Tony Robbins speak, Les Brown is to me personally one of the most influential people of all time that I've known, like motivational speakers and public figures that I think of all time. Like,
I don't think I've ever seen a YouTube video of his.
Certainly
or speech or anything.
Dude, it's incredible. Certainly in my lifetime, like when I was going through a lot, I would listen to his speeches even while I worked out at the gym. And I mean, my God, dude, like this guy, I can't even fathom. Like it's hard to put into words his impact, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when you get the chance, and anybody listening to this, like listen to some fucking Les Brown, man. Just sit at home one day and put on a YouTube video and just sit there for an hour and listen.
I'm about to do that shit on the drive home.
Your life will fucking change forever. It is amazing. It's amazing.
Les Brown, my man.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you that, like, you know, he's gotten to an age where I don't think he's speaking anymore. You know, there's very few people of his kind out there that are able to do what he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you know, you look at your like Tony Robbins is one of those people, you know.
Yeah.
Les Brown for sure, but I can't really think of many other people that have that ability or that impact on others, you know, and can fill stadiums of people and just talk just through the power of spoken word, like lift the spirits of tens of thousands of people and have them all chanting the same things in unison, and outside of like a musical band or something of that nature,
right?
Like just from being themselves, you know, getting up there and just being unabashedly themselves and so fucking vulnerable and present and aware and just compassionate and connecting with the audience. Like, man, that is a rare fucking ability.
Did you watch the Tony Robbins documentary on Netflix?
No.
Bro.
Is it good?
Bro.
Is it really good?
Bro.
Yeah.
Like
I want to
shit.
see it. Okay.
It is. Right. I think I watched it, I don't know, like 6 months ago maybe.
Okay.
Holy shit.
It's really fucking good, huh?
It is incredible.
Oh, man. I can see this.
Incredible.
Yeah, because I love Tony Robbins. I fucking love Tony Robbins, man.
I think the name of it is I Am Not Your Guru.
Nice,
the name
dude.
of the documentary.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is fucking sick, because a lot of people look at him as a guru. You know? Man.
But it's really good, man. There's a lot of... I feel like I got something out of it just from fucking watching it, like because it's like it follows him. He has like a big week-long interactive conference that he puts on every year.
Adam went to that.
Really?
Lindquist, yeah.
Wow.
He and his mom.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It was his mom's like third one.
No way.
She took Christina and Eddie as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's expensive.
I'm sure it is. Yeah, so they follow him like through not just him, but they follow like the proceedings of this conference, and you can tell that the people are not just acting for the cameras.
Right.
You know? And like there was like multiple times watching it that like I just got chills all over my body. I was like, whew.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Dude, could you imagine being there like in person?
Bro, man.
Like, man. I'm telling you, like it's something about like people like him, their ability to connect with others, you know, just on a different level. Like you don't even feel like yourself, I'm sure, when you're around him. You know, you probably just feel this wave of like release and relief. Like you can be whoever the fuck you want. You can say whatever you want. You can, because they do some wild stuff there. They dance, they sing.
Yeah.
It's like a liberation, you know. It's like shedding all of the societal pressures and boundaries and like cramming you into a box your whole life to be this fucking person, and then you go to this event and it's like, fuck it, I'm fucking free, I can be whoever the fuck I want, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling, man. That's the feeling, you know? Like goddamn, one of the things that I've always wanted to do was be a public speaker, and largely because like I want to be able to make people feel that way.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm gonna sidetrack real quick.
Yeah.
We need to look at that tonight.
Okay.
So we didn't do it last night. We didn't do it last
did we
week.
look at?
That fucking website.
Which one?
E-speakers.
Oh, e-speakers. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to look at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of So like back, like one of the things that I've always wanted to do is make people feel that way. I've always wanted to like give people the power to liberate themselves and like make them feel liberated when they're in my presence. You know, that's why that Marion Williamson quote is so fucking big to me. The one that says like our greatest fear is not
that we
like
are
that,
that we're powerful beyond measure.
Oh, that fucking quote, man. Like, I hope to, at my peak potential, if there's ever a peak potential for myself, I hope to embody that, you know, entirely embody that, and that when people are around me, they feel liberated from their fears, and they feel like they can be whoever they want. They don't have to be ashamed, you know, and they can just like truly love themselves and be themselves and act any way they want, because like I want to be that person, you know.
Right.
I don't ever want to be scared or shy of or like embarrassed of what people think of me. I don't ever want to hold my own light back from shining because I would feel judged by others, you know. Like fuck that, man. Fuck that. That's terrifying for me. Like I'm gonna be who the fuck I want to be. And if you don't like me, then get the fuck out of my life, because I don't need you. You know, your presence is not going to benefit my life. And so, you know, I have often throughout my life felt super judged by people because I've always just been myself, you know, like just unabashedly me without giving a fuck. And I'm a weird, like quirky, funny, fucking silly dude who likes to do weird shit, you know. Like, yeah, you think you've known me as that kind of person, like for a while, man. You know, and like I've always said and done weird and funny shit, and like
well, I mean, me too. That's why I think we get along.
That's
so
why we get along so well, because we're both fucking quirky dudes, you know, and like we say and do funny and weird shit, and like, but that's freeing, you know, in so many aspects, man.
It's like that's the perfect word, is it's freeing, man. You just like, you have no cares, you have no worries, you're just like you can close your eyes and you just feel at peace, because you are you. You're just being yourself.
Exactly.
And you don't have to hide, you don't have to pretend, you don't have to change. You don't, obviously, like there's a sense of like changing to improve, but you don't have to pretend to be something that you're not. Purely for the fact of fitting in or like not making other people uncomfortable. Exactly.
And that's why like friendships like the one we have are so fucking rare, man, you know. Like I can name 0 friends that I'm able to be the way that I can be around you. I'm fucking serious, man.
I know,
man.
Like, I know how you feel.
I can't be the way around like you, the way I am around you. I can't be that way around other people, because people will think I'm weird.
I
gotta like act and behave in a certain way that abides by fucking their standards or their environment or their situation. And I've got some very close friends that I'm like pretty close to like my full self with, but no one that I'm fully myself with, except for when you and I hang out. And then it's like I know that like you will never judge me, so I can be whoever the fuck I want. And the feelings are the same, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's like this, like the bond that we have has grown over the years, right? But it's also because like we've seen each other at significant lows and significant highs.
Right.
So like we've like helped guide each other through these choppy waters, so to speak, you know. And I think that takes the fear away of like, okay, like you've seen me bawl my fucking eyes out over like getting dumped by a girl in high school, you know, dude, and like cool, just, bro, like I don't need to like cool. So like I know that like now if I were to like get upset about something and fucking cry, I'm not gonna feel uncomfortable crying in front of you, because like I've done it before, and I know that I wouldn't be judged. Right. You know?
The key there is that you and I have both seen each other in our most vulnerable moments. And we've accepted each other in those moments. So it gets no stronger than that. You know what I mean? Like you can't have any more of a peer friendship than someone who will stick with you through your absolutely most vulnerable times, you know? And that's, dude, that's like, it's tremendously fucking rare, you know? And I think that's why I'm at a point in my life, I was just talking to Jeremy about this a few weeks ago, where it's like my focus right now is not like, it's not money, you know. I don't want to make more money, and I don't want to have more money right now. I think my main focus is to build and forge like very, very strong, mutually beneficial relationships in every aspect, like friend relationships and like with a significant other. You know, that's a huge goal of mine, is I want to forge relationships with people that I know I can be myself around. I know that will stick with me through hard times, thick and thin, to the future. You know, I want to build a center of people that like
your fucking tribe.
A tribe of people that it's like not even my tribe, but like their tribe too. You know, like they know they can count on me just as much as I know I can count on them.
Right.
You know, and I can be whoever the fuck I want to be around them, and I don't have to be scared of like disclosing my darkest secrets to them or whatever it might be. You know, or like you said, like if I have a bad day, crying in front of them or something.
Yeah.
Like that is my goal right now. And
it's a good goal.
I feel like it's a very rewarding goal because I'm able to connect with people on a different level by pursuing that goal, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like, how can we help each other?
Yeah.
Not just like, what am I going to get out of this?
Right.
But like...
Right. Like, true, like, not
well, go ahead.
Not even like, I don't want to say help each other because then it's like indicative of like, I'm expecting something from you and you're expecting something from me. It's like, how can I get to know you on such a deep level that you feel comfortable around me and I feel comfortable around you, you know?
Yeah.
And that like we can talk about whatever we want to talk about and there's no judgment, there's no bias, there's no like I'm gonna go tell other people what you're telling me now and I have to be afraid of that, you know?
So there's this I believe this was also in 12 Rules for Life. You'll get to it eventually, but part of the book is where he's talking about like forging, having like healthy relationships.
Right.
And let's say the example that he gives is like you move to a new neighborhood, a new city, a new neighborhood, and you move in and you go, and I believe he says to like go and ask your neighbor for a favor.
Right.
And then the hope is that they will then come to you when they need something.
Right. And
you can over deliver value to them.
Yes.
In whatever sense it may be. Like you ask them, hey, like, do you have like some milk I can borrow, right? But then they ask you like, oh, can you walk my dog for the next couple of days? We're going out of town. I'm like, cool. Do you need your plants watered? Is there anything else you would like me to do? Blah blah blah. And you like that, and you show that you are capable of giving,
right,
without expectation,
right.
And that, I feel like I'm butchering this, but I think that that's the general sense of it. Is like you want people, like especially your people,
right,
like your tribe, they have to know that they can count on you, and you have to know that you can count on them.
Right.
And if you don't have that, there is no tribe.
Right. And there's no capacity for connection.
And you have and so like to build that, that's the difficult part is like, and you're probably gonna get some bad seeds going through this process, you know, and it's gonna take, and we've both had like betrayal in our life, you know, so it's like it's, at least for me, like it's difficult for me to fully open up to new people.
Right.
I'll like, it's weird. Like I have these like, I've been working over the last like couple months, I've been working on boundaries.
Right.
Because I'll tell like my personal life to like my fucking coworkers and like what I have in the past, you know?
Right.
Like shit that like, I don't, like they don't fucking need to know, you know, but I'll just fucking
divulge the information
regardless. And so that's like where I needed to put the boundaries up, but I won't go so far as to like really, even with like some people that are like really close to me, it's like hard for me to divulge like my true feelings because I've done that in the past and been burned hard, you know? So like,
so you have like a negative association with
like opening up and being my authentic self. In some instances, like around you it's no problem. Around Kayla it's no problem. Casey, not really a problem. Sometimes he's you know, like it's, I mean, it's really rare. You know, so I think it's important to, like, I'm glad that you have the approach that you have as to where like this is a big goal of yours. So you're gonna put a lot of time and the effort into making sure that the people that you let into your tribe are the people you actually want there.
Yes.
And not just people that you think or people that aren't just going to come into your tribe to use you for something.
Exactly. Not just passerbys, you know?
Yeah. Or like people that are going to come in and like try and take advantage of you or like manipulate you. It's
right.
like you've got to be, and this is the whole thing about like being able to like embody what you want to attract.
Right. Right.
You have to be like, if you're going to act like a shithead, those are the people that you're going to attract.
Yes, absolutely.
You know? So like if you act like somebody that genuinely cares for other people,
right,
and you show like purpose and you show truth and you show respect, like that's what you're going to attract.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I 100% agree. And there's I can't remember his name. He's an ex-con. He does motivational speaking now and like fitness and nutrition stuff. He's online on YouTube, and he says that in one of his podcasts where he says like, if what you seek is materialism and materialistic things, you will attract people who seek those things from you as well. You know, he's like, if what you seek is authenticity and being your true self, then you will attract people who seek that from you as well. You know, like it's the exact same thing. Like you attract what you put out there. So if you're all about flashy things, then you will end up in a relationship where the person admires you for your flashy things.
Right.
If you are in a situation where you are pursuing your true self and taking care of your mind, body, and soul, and you value that above all else, then you will attract someone who also values those things and will help you take care of your mind, body, and soul. And they will also be interested in doing the same for themselves. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly true. You know, what you put out is what you attract, and I think that at this point in my life, it's slowly starting to turn into that. You know, where I'm noticing the people in my life that I know won't be around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing that I don't feel comfortable in certain environments and around certain people that I used to be comfortable around. Because as every day passes, I'm becoming more and more myself, you know, my true self. And I can feel it, you know, I can feel myself like morphing into the person that I need to be and should be.
Right.
But it only comes out when I'm around certain people, you know, that people that I feel most comfortable around, that I know will accept me and not judge me, you know. But then I'm around people who I've been around my whole life, some friends that I've been around my whole life, and it's hard for me to be that person because I've known them and they've known me from as my former self, you know. So I revert back to my former ways when I'm around them, and it feels unnatural and it feels uncomfortable, you know, and I feel out of place and I feel like I'm pretending, and it's a like gut-wrenching feeling, you know. It's like I can feel my stomach turn in those situations.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's a form of self-betrayal.
Exactly, yeah. And so, you know, but then again, like my true self is this right here, like talking to you in this manner. Like I would love to have conversations like this all the time with people.
Fuck yeah, man.
All the time with people. This is the kind of things I want to talk about constantly with people. But the problem is so many people that I meet just don't have that level of depth, or don't have the capacity to speak on this level, and so
or they're afraid to show it.
Or they're afraid to show it, right? And so like I feel like by doing so and by behaving this way and talking this way and saying these things, that people will like shut me out and not want to be around me because it's like, that guy's weird, you know, or that guy, he just behaves differently from other people, you know.
Yeah. Like
Erica said that to me the other day. She's like, "You're different." You know.
You are different.
She was like, "You're different," and I was like, "Yeah," and I take a lot of fucking pride in that, you know. Like, good.
Yeah.
Good. I'm different, you know. I don't want to be like everyone else. I don't want to follow the fucking crowds, man. I want to be me, you know. I want to be authentically me, and if that doesn't fit with someone's description of what is acceptable, then fuck them, you know.
Yeah.
That's my perspective. It's like if I make you feel uncomfortable when I'm being authentically me, then fuck you. Number one, and number two, my life is better without you. So, you know, the door didn't disappear when you walked through it. So if my difference is not good for you or your life, then I feel the same way. And let's not waste each other's time, you know, and fucking take off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at in my life, where it's like, I don't want to waste time on bullshit and small talk and fake relationships, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I did that, like, after I got sober, man, I cut out, like, 95% of the people in my life, you know?
Right.
Like, I eliminated fucking everybody.
Right. Right. That's probably like one of the best things you could have done.
100%. Yeah, man. Yeah. I fucking.
And you've transformed and morphed more and more into who you're supposed to be after you did that. You know.
Yeah.
Because you weren't trying to fit in with that group anymore. You weren't adopting their behaviors anymore. You know?
Yeah. There was like a short period of time after I got out of rehab where I was like still associating with these people, and like I would hang out with them, and like even your brother. Like I hung out with your brother one time.
Right.
This was like 2 weeks after I got out of rehab, and I was like with him and this other kid, and like we hung out all day, like went down to the beach, and they were like drinking and doing lines the whole time we were hanging out, and I was just like, hey, yeah, I'm along for the ride, you know, I'm the DD, whatever, it doesn't bother me. And then we got back to your mom's house, and they went outside. The other kid was smoking, and I'm sitting in the living room with a plate in front of me, with lines of cocaine on it, and I sat there staring at it, and I was like, dude, I can definitely do one and they won't fucking notice, you know? And I looked at it and I was like, fuck. And I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I'm gonna walk to Beef and Bun and get some food. Can you come pick me up? Because I didn't have a driver's license. But she fucking picked me up, and I was like, fuck, man. You know?
But you probably felt so much better leaving.
I did, dude. And that's the thing is like, and that was hard to do, you know? Because I was like fucking, like I was at your family's house, you know? So like,
but still, I mean, on some level, you probably felt that sense of self-betrayal as well. You know, you feel the like gut tightening.
I felt it all day. That whole day, bro. I can vividly remember that entire day. I was uncomfortable, but I wanted to fit in. I wanted to like.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm still the same me, but like no. Not.
And that's
That's
it, man. And that's it right there. You're hitting it on the head. You know, it's like people should listen to that instinct. You know, people should listen to that feeling. Like, if you're in an environment around people that like you feel like you're not being your authentic self around, get the fuck out. As fast as you can. Because the longer you stay in there, the more it becomes a piece of you. You know? And spend some time alone, you know.
And look, dude, this is the crazy fact. I can say this now because I'm no longer at risk of like retaliation and not working at this establishment anymore. But I was actively looking the last couple weeks to leave the job that I was at. I've only been back there for what, December, January, I don't know, 3.5 months. And like 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, this is not for me. Like I went back there, I took the job, I took the management job. And I was like, okay, cool. And then I was like, fuck. This was not the right move. You know? And
that was shortly after you took the job.
Jesus. So like, here's the thing.
And you had just left the job that you felt that same way at. And then did that again.
But that took me, at Costco, it took me months and months and months of that feeling building little by little. And I went back to the Pioneer, and I was there for 2 months, and then and after 2 months is when the general manager left. So I was like, I had been like closing down the restaurant, doing, you know, managerial duties, but not with the title. And after 2 months of being there, I got the title. Right. And then I was like, fuck. What did I do? Like, this is not what I want. And not only that, it was just a negative environment. And I had negative associations with that establishment from my previous time working there, and then coming back and like kind of having it be the exact same thing, which I knew it was going to be, but it was like I wanted the title of being a manager. Bad enough that I went back to a situation that I knew was not good for me. Just so I could get that title.
Talk about self-betrayal, man.
For sure, man. And so like then I'm like, now like let's, you know, rewind to a month ago. I kind of want to leave. I don't know, like, but I just came back. Whatever. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago, actively looking for jobs. Like going out and dropping off resumes. And now, the universe has taken that job away from me. Blessing or curse? Blessing.
Blessing for sure.
Blessing.
It's not even a blessing in disguise. Like,
no.
You knew that wasn't right for you, and so.
And so like, cool. I don't have a job right now. But I'm also not having to pretend every day when I go to work.
Which is Ugh.
So, and this is like when I came over here last night, and I was like, I want to talk to you about getting a part-time job. Like in the meantime, we never discussed it because we were doing the other shit.
Right.
Like, I feel like this is why I was conflicted with it, is because I don't even know if I could have voiced this last night, but like now after saying it out loud just now, I feel like I have a better grasp of the concept. But it's pretty much that. Like now I have this time to myself, right? Where I can work on, like I just signed up for classes or like an online course to get my real estate license. I can focus on that. I can, you know, dive in fully on like self-improvement and like getting, like soaking up as much value from the things around me that I'm internalizing as possible, you know, and taking a break from having to like put on a fucking mask every day and go to work. So that's like kind of where I'm at right now. No income, but like no pretending. You know, so.
I mean, dude, I would rather be my true self and be happy with that and have no money than have lots of money and have to wear a mask every day.
Yeah, but like true, 100%. I don't need lots of money, but I need money to survive.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
No, I get that. I'm not saying sacrifice your own, you know, well-being in
right, like don't go homeless because you're too proud to, you know.
Right.
But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. And I, you know, a part of me that, or something that I think is very terrifying is when people wear the mask for so long that it becomes them.
Yeah.
You know, like I see people that I work with every day that like I can tell who's being real and who's not being real, you know?
Right.
And I can tell the people that like don't divulge their true selves in their work environment because they're afraid of criticism and judgment. And I can see the people who are themselves and who don't really give a fuck, you know, and are like, oh, this is who I am, and like, I'm this way outside of work and at work, you know?
Well, this is like, let's just give the example of the movie The Mask.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Right.
Puts the mask on, becomes this like super slick, cool motherfucker. Right?
Yeah.
But the more he wears it, the harder it is to take off.
Yeah.
Same with like Venom from Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's all these.
Dude,
and I can't believe I never realized these, you know, like until like I'm like, oh, but like that's the thing, like the like Venom, that's a better example.
Right.
Just the word.
Yeah.
Like becoming Venom.
Yeah.
And that Venom soaks into you, and it's the more you allow it to soak into you, the harder it is to get out.
Right.
And it's you know, it goes from like you putting on this mask for 10% of your time
to the mask wearing you,
right, to where you're only yourself 10% of the time.
Exactly.
And once you're to get back from that, man, is it's ridiculously hard, man.
Talk about like so imagine the impression that has on your subconscious, right? Like you've been pretending to be someone for so long that you are now a person that you have been pretending to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you have trained your subconscious to be someone you are not for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, starting from the perspective that your subconscious controls the show, and that you already have years worth of trauma that you need to get rid of to really become your authentic self, and you haven't gotten rid of any of that trauma. Not only that, you've masked that trauma with being someone that you don't want to be, and you've covered it up. You've essentially bagged that trauma in like a zip fucking lock bag and put a zip tie around it, and are now like carrying this trauma in a plastic bag that you can't burst and you can't take off because number one, you haven't fixed the traumas that made you the person that you were,
and now you can't until you deal with everything else compiled on top of that.
Exactly. And you've masked that all into some personality that you've picked up over the years that's not who you truly are, you know?
Whew.
Yeah.
Some heat, bro.
Some fucking heat, man, you know? But seriously, man, like, I can tell, dude. I can tell the people, you can see it, you know? And I recognize that, too. Like, sometimes I'll go into environments and I'll be like, I get like a lot of anxiety these days about going around people that I'm not comfortable being my true self around, you know? Like even friends I've known for a long time, I get social anxiety and like, fuck, I gotta pretend to be this person, you know. I gotta pretend to be like this kind of guy, you know. I get social anxiety around that. But then I think like, okay, take a breath, and like there's gonna be new people here that you haven't met, and your friends are there. Like, let's just try being your true self. You know, let's try being the weird, quirky, funny guy who talks about all kinds of weird shit, and like let's just do that and see how people react. And I noticed that people respond so much better to authenticity than they do to like when you're just trying to be someone else. You know?
And the crazy part is like society teaches us that that's not the case.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it's
But you think about it, like, I'm not the only person that has these feelings. I'm not different for having those feelings.
Right.
Like, most of society feels that way. And most of society never lets their guard down and never truly opens up to anyone about who they really are, you know? So they walk around with their fucking mask on their whole life, and then when they encounter other authentic people, it's like, oh shit, like that makes me feel good, you know? Like, I'm attracted towards that because it's like, he's real. He knows who he is, and then I can be who I am because he's being who he is, and he's not afraid to do that. So he's not going to judge me for being who I am.
Right.
You know, and being in that situation. It's the thing of like what Marianne Williamson says in that quote. It's like, don't be afraid to let your light shine because you think others around you will feel small. You know, like be your authentic, true self all the time, and people will respond better to that. Yeah. People will reciprocate that.
You're giving them permission to do the same.
Exactly. You're unconsciously giving them permission to do the same. Because when you are yourself, people will then become themselves. And that's what I've been realizing recently. It's like the more that I'm myself and the more that I'm like just fucking Kody, you know, the Kody that I know is Kody. Right. It's like people fucking respond, man. People respond. And
For sure.
And then I'll notice things. I'll notice people like a little quirky side of them will come out. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah. I didn't see that before, you know? Like, that was a funny joke you just said. And like, you know what I mean? And they'll like laugh it off and be like, ooh, and like, you know, go back to their little shell. And I'm like, no, like, come out, motherfucker. Come out, hermit crab. Like, I saw your head. Get the fuck out here, you know? Like, fucking come out, baby. Like, let me see what you're about, you know? Make yourself vulnerable. Don't hide inside that shell. Like, put yourself out there, man, you know? Like, be who you are and who you want to be. And people will begin to emulate that. And then that's how you'll attract people into your circle that you want, you know, is by being you. It's by being who you are and acknowledging that and saying like, you know what, this is me, and fuck everyone else that doesn't like it. I'm going to be me every day. And then I'll attract people that are worthwhile in my life who are also themselves, you know, and they feel the need and ability to be as weird or whatever as they want to be, you know. And like that, I think, is how you forge legitimate bonds, is that you just be unabashedly yourself, and people appreciate that authenticity and they are attracted to you because of that, you know. And they might call you different or weird or whatever, but they're just projecting themselves onto you, you know. They know that they're different too, but they're too afraid to show it because society has told them not to, you know. And until you fucking become yourself, and until you accept yourself and love yourself on a different level, and you show people that you're okay with who you are regardless of their judgment and opinion, it's like you're impervious. You're impervious to what they throw at you, you know? You could be openly yourself and they'll sit there and criticize and judge you, but it doesn't impact you because you don't care. Because you're being honest with yourself, and that feels better than
seeking the approval
of others. Yeah, it feels better than that, and thereby no judgment or shade they throw your way is going to impact you because you're already elevated to a level of just like higher being.
There can be no shade when you let your light shine bright.
Fuck, man. There is no shade in the light.
There is no shade in the light, bro.
There is no shade in the light. When there's direct light, there is no shade.
Oh.
Damn.
Big facts.
Dude, I mean, that might be enough, you know?
I know.
That might be enough, man. I mean,
there is no shade in the light.
So, everyone listening to this, just, you know...
Closing thoughts, you first.
Okay. Take it from someone who goes out into society every day and hangs around people every day that he doesn't feel like he can be himself around, is that there is no worse slow death and torture to your soul than pretending to be someone you're not. And so be your true and authentic self and let your light shine. regardless of the opinions and judgments of others. That's it.
I like it. I want to end with this. As important as it is to attract the right people into your life, it is equally as important to cut out the people that are not a good fit for your life.
Yeah.
You can keep bringing in positive people, but if you, on the other end of that, still have negative people that are going to drag you down, you're not going to get as far as you want to go. You have to be able to separate yourself from toxicity in order to, you know, flower into what you want to become.
Right. Boom.
Boom.
On that note, good night.
Adios.
Dude.
That might be my favorite one.
What the fuck just happened, man?